Welcome back to your nightmares, my children. This is Mr. Midnight speaking. I welcome you all to my humble abode. Today we will be looking at 3 first responder scary stories that will scare you to death. So let's begin, and always remember, the darkness always follows. I will now leave you with my narrator, so enjoy.
I'm a police officer, and I was the first responder to a little pink house. Before I start off the story, please keep in mind that this is all a jumbled mess in my mind. I've tried to forget it over and over, and it's just this memory in the back of my head. I don't remember too many details other than very specific moments. So trying to put this out into a story is a little hard. Either way, here goes. It was a warm summer day about 2 or 3 years ago when me and my friend, we will name him Tom for the sake of keeping his name private, he doesn't want anything to do with this, was sent to a call from an elderly woman thinking there was someone in her house. We get calls like these all the time, and it's often something as simple as the house settling or the water systems. And the woman reported that she hadn't in fact seen anybody, but we went to check it out nonetheless. There was one slight problem, however. The address we were given didn't exist. I asked the operator to repeat the address after hearing it the first time, and she told me that the woman had specifically stated that address. Again, this stuff happens all the time with people because they forget their own address, or in a panic they say it wrong on the phone. Tom and I were told to just go to the next closest address and look for a little pink house, because that's how the elderly woman had described it. Tom and I considered the possibility of it being a prank call, and along the way there, and decided that if it was, we should track down the call and talk to the kids' parents. As we got close to the given address, to our surprise, there was a little pink 2-story house. It was something straight out of the 50s, with a wide picket fence up front, a little rocking chair on the front porch, and a mini garden hanging from the awning. But it wasn't what we expected when we were told to look for a pink house. It was ancient. The paint looked like it had been washed off by hard weather over many years to where the light brown of the wood was showing through. It was chipped off in so many places, and the walls were in so much disrepair, it looked like it was going to topple over any second. Tom and I quickly got out of the car after spending probably a little too long looking at the house, and walked up to the door to knock. As my knuckles hit against the wood, it creaked open. It was already unlocked and open. I called out into the house as to not alarm the woman with a simple, "This is the police. Come out with your arms up." This was also to get any possible house invaders out in the open. Something wasn't right though. There was an indescribable feeling as soon as we stepped foot inside of the house, almost as if walking into a party without knowing anyone there, almost as if we didn't belong. The inside of the house was just what you would expect after seeing the outside. It was a scene straight out of the 50s, but it was all in so much disrepair, like all the furniture and paintings had been left to rot and fall apart in the house. The lights didn't work, so we brought out our own flashlights and walked around to investigate. Tom searched the ground floor, and I decided to go up the stairs. This is truly when something really felt wrong. With each step, the stairs felt heavier and heavier to climb, as if the whole house was leaning up against me. Each step creaked its little tune, and the walls seemed to bend and arch over my head as I got closer to the top of the stairs. I was sweating and my vision was fading. And as soon as it had all started, it stopped when I reached the top. It felt like I had walked multiple miles to get up the staircase, and at this point, I was heaving and leaning against the top of the railing. The top floor was very simple and had only one room. The stairs led up to a landing which curved right to a little hallway with that single room. I will never forget what I saw in there. As I walked down the hallway, still catching my breath, I slowly walked towards the room and turned into the doorway. Standing in the middle of the room was nothing, and I truly mean nothing. It was a void. That nothing turned to me, and the saying, "Stare into the abyss long enough, and the abyss will stare into you," was given a whole new meaning. It didn't look at me, it looked through me, and suddenly I didn't feel right. For a moment I didn't feel like I was supposed to exist, that this house was right and I was wrong. For a very brief moment I felt like walking into that nothing. That was until Tom grabbed me and pulled me out of the room. He shut the door as fast as possible, and I looked at him and he gave me a look I could only recognize as, I saw it too. Nothing phases me. After all the work I've done and all the calls I've been to, there is never a surprise, and that terrified both of us. We got back in the car and reported back to the station, asking for backup in case of an emergency. But the next second we looked out the window, the house was gone. It was as if it had never existed. The others arrived at the scene and looked at us as if we each had 3 eyes. It became a running joke at the office each and every time we got a call. We were soon forgotten by everyone but Tom and I. I don't care what the hell the report says. According to it, there was never an elderly woman, and there was never a pink house. But we know what we saw, and I believe someone is trying to cover it all up. That little pink house is somewhere. I was the first responder to a suicide, and I found these letters on the body. I am a paramedic and had a call for an obvious suicide. I was the first one to show up at the house and didn't waste any time getting in there. I found the body behind a closed door, where he had obviously hung himself. I'm a little freaked out about the letters. Can someone tell me if this kind of thing can transfer from person to person? I never told anyone about the letters, but have been feeling like someone had been watching me recently. I have transcribed part 1 of the letter below, and will get to the other parts when I can find the time. Note 1. Don't open the door, you let him out. Or was he an it? You let it out. I was never clear on that part. The only thing I can remember is the overpowering sense of dread that came with him. It. I tell friends that I did this on accident. Do they know the truth? I guess it doesn't really matter anymore. Since you're reading this, it came. And it won. It all started when my girlfriend passed. I seemed to have lost all sense of purpose. Every day was the same. Every night filled with regret for not being able to save her. Not believing her, but I believe her now. I just wish I had the chance to tell her while she was still here. Soon enough. I repeat to myself for the dozenth time. Soon she will know that I believe her. She never told me about her past. Insisted that it wasn't important. Said that it would only drive me away. I never met her family. It was always just her and I. Her and I for as long as I can remember. But that all changed 4 months ago. That all changed the night she killed herself. When we first met, things were great. We could hardly spend time apart from each other. Towards the end, however, I found myself wanting to be away from her. Not because of a lack of love, but because she became increasingly exhausting to handle. I stopped counting the nights I woke up alone in bed to find her sitting in the bathtub, rocking back and forth. I could do nothing to comfort her when she got like that. Powerless, I could only curl up in the tub beside her and hold her until dawn. When I confronted her about all of this, she would only shake her head and tell me that I wouldn't understand, that it wasn't happening to me. She started losing sleep, stopped eating, starting to become more and more paranoid. I finally convinced her to tell me what had happened to get her so worked up. I wish I had just left things alone. I wish I left that night. I know it's shitty of me, but maybe I would still be here. Ever since she was a girl, she felt like she was being followed, being watched from every corner of every room she was in. She had felt things touch her, grab her, trip her. She would hear voices only at night, telling her that they were coming for her. She eventually developed a manic, depressive personality, and at a very young age started cutting herself. She said that it was the only way to get the voices to stop. Fast forward to that night. That night will haunt me until my very last breath. Things were getting better for the most part. It had been a couple weeks since her last breakdown. I woke up in the middle of the night and she wasn't in bed. I knew she would be in the bathroom all night, so I just lay there waiting for her. After a few minutes, I started hearing banging. Then I felt it. At first it started as just a knock. Then steadily it picked up pace. And I felt like there was a horse galloping right in my bed with me. I jumped up and ran to the bathroom, where I knew my girlfriend was. The door was locked. I shook the knob and started banging on the door for her to open. No response. I grabbed my phone and texted her, hoping to convince her to unlock the door. I could hear the bath running. I waited a couple of minutes for her to text me back. My phone buzzed, showing a reply. Before I had a chance to read it, from the other side of the door I heard her talking to someone. Who was she talking to? I couldn't make out the most of what she was saying, but picked out a few words and phrases such as death, kill me, leave him alone. I heard a sound, much like plaster breaking, and then my house started shaking, rumbling, like a big earthquake had just struck. I threw my shoulder into the door, over and over. All the while, I could hear her screaming, "Stop! Stop!" I kicked at the door, threw my shoulder into it. Everything I tried would not get me through. I started screaming for her. She only yelled back, "Leave him alone! Take me instead!" And the house stopped shaking. There was no sound anymore, but the sound of the bathtub overflowing. I tried the knob again. This time the door opened. I hesitated for a second before pushing myself into the bathroom. Water flooded the floor. Dark water, red water, bloody water. My girlfriend lay there in the tub, arms and legs and neck sliced over and over again. The rest of that day does not matter to the story. It was only a few days later that I realized that I had never checked the message she had sent me. Do you know what it's like reading something that was written by someone you love, days after they have passed? I was scared shitless to read it, to read the final words of my love to me. Do not open the door. You let it out. Sorry for the delay, guys. Things are starting to get weird for me. But I can't shake this feeling that I'm being followed. Is that you, Chad? Are you reading my post and trying to freak me out? Well, it's working, man. I didn't get much sleep after last shift last night. I worked the late shift last night. At one point, my partner Chad was using the restroom and I was sitting in the ambulance waiting for a call and transcribing more of the letter. I found a symbol, or rather some of the letter was written in a symbol, in red ink too. Blood? As I was transcribing it, I could hear a voice in my head that only got louder the more complete the symbol became. I could not understand the language. It sounded like some sort of ancient ritual. Oh, I had to stop. My vision was blurring and my hands started shaking. There's something unnerving about it. If anyone can find anything, please let me know. I was able to get to sleep just fine, but have started having the craziest dreams. In my dreams, I am hurting myself. Only I don't feel any sense of fear. It's like I'm hurting myself to save myself. My dream self is happy that I'm bleeding everywhere, smiling the entire time. From now, here is the rest of the letter. Note 2. This isn't right. My mum tells me that the grief is getting to me. Guilt, more like it. My girlfriend told me that something was wrong, and I wish that I had listened. Ever since that night, I can't sleep. When I sleep, I dream of her. I dream of that night. I find her body lying there. Only she is still alive and talking. Why wouldn't you believe me? You could have saved me. I beg her to forgive me. Promise her that I will be with her soon. She begs me to end my life. Begs me to join her. Most nights, there is a vision and voice in my head. A voice telling me how much I have failed. The guilt eats at me. I would do anything to have her back, to tell her how wrong I was. I start hallucinating, seeing my girlfriend around my house. Only there's a shadow following her. And every time I reach out to her, the shadow grows and I grow colder. I think there's something else going on here. At times, I feel like she wants to hurt me. I started seeing a shrink, but that has only made things worse. I wonder if the medication is somehow counteracting and causing my hallucinations. I haven't taken any medication in almost 2 weeks now, and things are seeming to get better. I no longer hear or see my girlfriend, which is bittersweet. I miss her. I want to be with her. I thought things were getting better, but I was wrong. I awoke with her on top of me, holding my wrist down, just staring at me, staring into my soul. I was frozen. I was only able to lay there while she had her way with me. My friends swear it was just a dream, but I can't believe them. I feel that she is still alive somewhere, trying to get a hold of me. Today I found an excerpt online about demon rituals and summonings. I have figured out a way to bring my love back from the dead. I must find a sacrifice. But whom? I sacrificed the bunny last night for the ritual. I am going to say that it did not work, at least not from what I could tell. I was expecting some instantaneous sign to show me that it worked. I need this to work. I need my love. I become frantic, even manic depressant. After the ritual, I feel as I do not belong in this body. I've ended up tearing most of the skin on my inner thigh off. There's something about my skin that I am no longer familiar with. Do I belong in this body? The longer I go on without my love, the more I feel like ending it all. I need to be with her again. Someone vandalized my house while I was at work today. Everything was turned upside down, inside out, as if someone was looking for something. After I reported it to the police and cleaned everything up, I couldn't find anything that had been stolen or was out of place. As I headed into my bedroom, I got this overwhelming sense that someone was in there, or something. I grabbed a bat from my garage and headed into the room. Everything was exactly as I had left it. Only there was a lump in my bed under the covers. A body lump. As if someone were laying in it, sleeping. None the wiser to me standing there. I froze. I was standing there a good minute until the lump started to move. I couldn't stand still anymore. I flew erratically at the source of the movement and wailed as hard as I could with my bat, over and over and over again. All I could see was red. I had lost it. I was no longer myself. After what felt like an hour of striking at my bed, I had to stop. I couldn't breathe the entire time. I was hitting the lump. I heard a voice. Harder. It encouraged me. Keep hitting. Harder. 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 The lump had not moved since the first time. I waited a good minute before I was able to pull the covers up from the bed. There in the bed was my girlfriend. She was just lying there with her hands up, protecting herself. She wasn't breathing. Had the sacrifice worked? Had the demon accepted my sacrifice? Nothing I could do made her react to me. Her body may be lying in this bed, but it is not her. There were no signs of here left. I couldn't bring myself to remove her from the bed, so I crawled in and lay next to her. This was the last time I slept next to my girlfriend. I woke up to her staring at me. She would not talk. She would not move. She would only stare at me. After a few minutes, she started talking. "This is your fault," she told me. "I would be alive if I had never met you. You are a terrible person. This is your fault. Don't you want to be with me? Join me. Join me in death. You will be free." I could not take the guilt anymore. Was she even here in bed with me? Is this all just in my mind? I am going to hang myself. I need to free myself from this world so that I can be with her. I will leave the door open so that these feelings do not pass to the person that finds me. I do not want even more blood on my hands. I have set up a camera in the corner that I will use as my last will and testament. Please, whoever finds me, get the tape to my parents. They will not understand. End of letter. I went back to the property to find the video camera. It was all destroyed, but I was able to remove the memory card and get it to play. Guys, this is effed. You know how he mentioned he was going to leave the door open? When I found him, the door was closed. I'm shaking watching this. It shows the guy, and he does give his last will before he hangs himself. The camera is to his back, and he is facing the door. As soon as he kicked out the stool from underneath him, his girlfriend sat right up in bed and stared at him. Her smile grew wider the longer he struggled. Once he had done moving, she got out of bed, walked to the door and shut it. She proceeded to the camera, picked it up, pointed at the camera, smiled and smashed it against the wall. What do I do? This is obviously not some guy's schizophrenic thoughts. This actually happened. And what's worse is it seems that the curse passes to the person that opens the door with the person behind it. Does that make me next? Should I seek any professional help? I was the first responder to the 9/11 attacks. What I saw wasn't what I expected. When I got the call, I couldn't believe it. I thought this was some joke from dispatch. I was dearly mistaken, and I wish I called in sick that day. I wasn't prepared for this. None of us were. My friend Josh and I were the first to get there, along with some paramedics and firefighters. Josh stayed with the paramedics outside, while I went in with the firemen. We thought about bringing a rescue dog, Cody, but we decided collectively against it. I'm glad we didn't. He was a good dog in his life. When we entered the first tower, the second plane hit. It was so loud, we almost went deaf. That isn't an exaggeration either. When I say loud, I mean it. My ears rang like hell. Windows shattered, sending glass shards towards us. A couple of us had cuts, while others were unscathed. I opened the door and the room was empty. I turned around to tell everyone else the room was clear. But they were gone. I thought they went on to the next floor, and I was kind of right. I wish I never found them. I should have radioed to check on them. I just had to be an idiot. I went to each of the cubicles hoping to find them. When I searched the last 10, I found a corpse in each of them. They were neatly tucked in under the desk of that cubicle. Their throats were slit with what I assumed to be a sharp knife. I was wrong about that. Just then I heard a stabbing sound, followed by something falling to the floor. I rushed up the stairs, hoping to catch a murderer. I found them. It just wasn't what I expected to see. I expected a man holding a knife or some other type of blade. Just in time, I watched it slide the corpse under a cubicle. Like that was its calling card. I knew immediately that it was what killed my men. I hid, but not well enough. It charged at me, screeching that it was scared. It was the voice of a little girl. It had my dead daughter's voice. I shot it and it ran off. I knew now was the chance to run. Of course, it wasn't that simple. It was impossible for it to be that easy. Why would it have? I was in a flaming building, being chased by a demon that sounded like my daughter. When I got to the 13th floor, a part of the roof caved in, and there was a tiny space I would have to crawl through. It couldn't be that simple either. The demon manifested in front of me and bared its left arm, or where its left arm should be. Instead, there was a long claw. It grabbed me by the neck, but not tight enough to kill me. I kind of wish it had. It stabbed me in the leg, then dropped me. I opened fire on it, with I'd say 9 hits. I tried to shoot myself, but I was out of ammo. I ran up the stairs. How fast? I don't know. But faster than a human, it was faster than me. And that's all I need to know. Clenching my bleeding wound, I stumbled over to the staircase going down. My legs ached so much. I almost considered throwing myself out of the window from the pain. I got through the crawl space in the stairs and rushed out of the building. I was then assisted by the medics that were with Josh. Nobody could find him. It was like he just vanished. I would have seen him come in the building. I would have seen him come out. I looked up at the top of the building, just in time to see it fall with the rest of the building. It felt a strange wave of relief wash over me. My squad was presumed dead, and Josh missing in action. Nobody believes what I saw. They think I'm crazy, that I was seeing things from adrenaline rushes. I was in a psych ward for 10 years and counseling for 5. I'm in my late 30s now and I live alone. I suffer from PTSD and depression. The thing screeches still haunt me. It sounded just like when my daughter got run over. I've been giving myself cuts and bruises every day for the lives I could have saved. I started with 1 a day when my daughter died, and I've been getting up to 3 daily now. My wife left me because of it. I hear my daughter whispering outside my door. Mostly nonsense, but I heard, "Papa, let me in, please, I'm scared." I looked in the peephole and saw pitch black. Its eyes were pitch black. I know I effed up. There isn't much I can do now. I have a shotgun though. 1 shell, One chance to end it. This is a cry for help. I don't know what to do or why this thing chose me to torture. I'm considering just shooting myself just to escape it. It is scratching the door with that claw. I think if I shoot the claw off, then go and start bashing it with the butt of the stock, that may work. I am conflicted. I don't know how I know, but the only thing keeping it going is me. If it fails its goal, it may stop. It wants my neck, I'll take my own off if I must. You can't kill something that doesn't exist, right? I'm ready to die. It better be too.
Well, my children, I thank you all for listening. I hope these 3 scary stories frightened you and terrified you, because I love the taste of fear. I will see you again very soon. So until then, love the darkness as it always follows.